International photojournalist Thomas van Houtreef came to speak to our multimedia journalism class about a project he has been working on relating to the Syrian refugee crisis.
The image that we get of refugees often is like, I would say, like the most often thing that shows up in the media, if you were to just generalize it down to one photo, it's like frowning people carrying bundles, basically, like throughout time, basically. And that's the iconic picture. It explains what's happening. People are moving, they're carrying what they have, and that's it. But it's actually a really, really small part of the refugee experience and usually doesn't last that long, right?
Like Tomas states, not all refugee crisis stories are like this, with many of us being able to relate to them, as they are just humans too.
I thought Tomas's presentation was unbelievable. It really opened my mind because I come from a town and a family that historically has thought pretty conservatively, and this refugee crisis came up many times in politics, many times in debates, and the Sunday night dinner and whatnot, family members, students, everything. And it really opened my eyes to see that these refugees have smartphones and Apple devices just like we do.
I definitely did perceive them in a stereotypical way, which is dressed in tethered clothing and I don't know, just not having any form of technology in their possession or anything.
What's interesting to see is like how resilient people are and how their characters and personalities are constant through time, no matter what obstacles they're faced. And being a refugee is very similar to the other things that all humans go to, whether it's a relative that gets cancer, a car accident. These are like major life-changing tragedies that come out of nowhere. Nobody knows when they're going to become a refugee. And people deal with this in a certain way. We're forced to go through hard emotions. There's loss, there's difficulty, there's questions of identity, but there's also huge amounts of hope and resilience.
This has been Tim O'Brien reporting from WCC News.